there's always a delay because I see something kind of spinning right now, but I also see something that says that I'm live. So I want to go ahead and assume that I'm live. So what we're going to be talking about today is some CMS. CMS stands for Content Management System, and WordPress is a popular example of CMS, and so is Webflow. So I'm going to be going over something that's kind of happened with this Webflow website that I have, and to show you why a CMS is really helpful. So let's go ahead and it's already published. Boom. So this is in Webflow. This is it's not WordPress. It's a competitor. Think of it as a competitor with WordPress. So you may have seen we have a variety of Google workshops. So I'm really happy and very proud of the fact that we are a Grow with Google partner and that we have access to all kinds of resources to, help the community, students, businesses, and everything, grow and succeed in whatever it is that they're doing. And if you look at this tab, you can see that there's 6 different workshops that we've already done. And which is great. The problem is it's gotten kind of a bit unwieldy on this, because what I did when I first started doing this and housing them on here was I just had everything be a single individual page. And I built that page, individually. And you can see the layouts are different, just there's just differences on it. It doesn't have the consistency, which is not good for user experience, just because I haven't had the time to whatever the reasons are. There's a variety of different reasons. One, I forget. One, I get absent-minded. Two is that I just, don't think about it. And so there's a variety of different reasons. And this is by creating a single web page for every single one. And some of them had promote the next one's coming and then watch recording now. And that's not been updated because this, there's a variety of different ones. Let's see, there's some of these that haven't been updated, like you're saying register for something. And that's not a good example, but some of these just need to be updated. They're not up to date. Okay. And again, it was just a matter of, finding the time and having the consistency and the dedication and just whatever those things are to get it done. That's where the value of CMS comes in. So CMS, again, stands for Content Management System, and it manages your content, hence the name. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a CMS here within Webflow. So I'm logged into Webflow right now. And what we're going to do is, what I've done already is I grabbed some of the URLs. Okay. I've already grabbed some of the URLs for the things that we're going to be doing. And let's see, I'm going to get rid of that one. So I grabbed 3 URLs. This is the past recordings. If I'm able to find those other past recordings and the links that they provided after the session was done, I'll go ahead and add those as well. And with utilizing the CMS is going to be a lot easier than what I had been doing. And this one is coming up, using YouTube to grow your business. It was originally scheduled for the 8th, but the holidays and everything, it's now rescheduled to the 21st. So this one I'm really super excited about as well. Because did you know that YouTube is the second most popular SEO tool out there? Google's obviously first, but YouTube is a strong second in regards to the tool that people use to Google stuff. They YouTube it. Okay, so anyways, so the first things first. First, we're going to go to our CMS, which it looks like a little database thing right there. That's really what it is. It's a database that holds all your information that we're going to put in there, and it's a way for you to kind of query it or pull out selected information based off whatever the parameters you give it, which is the very simplistic way of describing what a database is. So we're going to create a new collection. And what's great about Webflow is it gives you a variety of different templates, so you can customize them. I love templates. Templates make your life easier, and it gives you the confidence to grow whenever you not want to use a template. So let's see. I haven't really figured out which one I wanted to do yet. Let's go with projects. Okay. So we have a collection named of projects. We can name this whatever we want. I'm going to go ahead and name this Google Webinars. And let's see the name, the slug. And you can see when we look at the collection fields, the editor preview, this is what it's going to look like on the far right. So this, whenever we're actually editing in the content, so when I'm putting the information in for the webinars, this is kind of what that's going to look like. So we have the name and the slug, and the name is the name, and the slug is, they have an example right here. Like when you go to a website, that's usually the stuff at the very end after the last / is the slug relevant to the page that you're on. So there's details. So these are the basic info. Then you have details, and you can customize this as well. So I'm going to name this webinar details. Hit save. Just going to kind of rename this stuff. And you don't have to use everything. I'm just probably going to leave a lot of the stuff here. And just use it if I find I need it. And if I don't, that's fine. No big deal. Let's see. Don't really know what to put in there. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and leave all this stuff as is. And let's go ahead and add something else though. Date. Just for the date. Date of webinar. Let's see, add field. So switch. So switch is like indicates is like, you know, it's whenever you're querying things down, if you want only certain things to show, this can be a way to help only show the things that you want to show. It's on or off, so to speak. So let's see, has webinar already complete. Yeah, okay. Then there's some help text. Okay, has the webinar already been completed? Okay. So we got some stuff in here. Now we're just going to go ahead and click Create Collection. And whenever you're just, you know, figuring this stuff out, they have some sample items which can help you, you know, fill in the blank, so to speak, and get used to it. But I'm not going to use that. What I'm going to use is just click New Google Webinar, because Google Webinar is the name of the CMS file or CMS collection that we're using. And all of CMS is really, again, just like a database of all this information. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go in there and fill in that stuff. And I think I forgot to put a link in it. So I messed up. So what I need to do now is click on this little sprocket because I did not put a URL. Let's go ahead and click Add Field. Need a link. I need a link to the webinar. Link to webinar. Let's see. Link to recording of the webinar. And I also need a link to the registration. Link to register. Link to register for the webinar. And again, this help text just kind of gives us an idea of, you know, whoever's putting the stuff in, they know what to put in there. It's kind of like, oh, shoot, notes. I am totally blanking. What's in the comments that you put into an HTML page. So, you know, kind of talking to whoever on what you're doing as to why, just like a description. So now let's try this again. New Google Webinar. So let's go ahead and look at some of the ones I already grabbed. So free workshops for job seekers was one. Copy, paste. So what I'm doing is, you know, pasting that in there, and that's automatically created that slug. I usually, for the most part, leave that alone. You know, that matching here is good, and I don't really need to reinvent the wheel on that. Let's see. Let's see where I get the details from. Let's see, this will give it to me. So this webinar has already, come and went. And let's see. What I'm going to have to do is after this is just go ahead and grab the details of it, but you'll be able to see it once you once you go to that website, you'll be able to see the details. So in the summary, webinar image, let's see. Okay, it's featured project, no, date of the recording. Not going to worry about that right now. Yes, it's already been completed. Link to the webinar. We'll go ahead and put that in there. Go ahead and hide that. And hit create. And it should let us create, even though we don't have everything in there. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and do another one. And as you can see, I don't have all the content. Some of the stuff I got to grab the summary and the details. And I don't want to spend the time in this video doing that. But I want you to see how easy it is to really get this done. So you can see the slug was created. And let's see, link to the webinars right there. I don't remember the date. I'm not going to worry about the date right now. That's already been completed. Hit create. And you Google webinar. Now this one has not happened yet. This is the one for the YouTube. And like I said, it's been postponed until the 21st. So you still have time to register for it. And what's great about attending these things live is like you can ask questions. As sometimes whenever you're watching a pre-recorded webinar, you don't necessarily understand something. It's helpful to have, be able to answer or ask those questions. Okay, now this one is if you want to register because it's not happened yet. So this link will take you into this. And evidently I lied, but link did that. It's a recording. Okay, I'm going to have to find that link. I'll get that link later. And but this link will actually take you to the website to register for that. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So basically, you just fill out a form. You just need all the information, which I don't have right now, in front of me, and just fill out the form based off the form that we created with the CMS. So now we need a place for that to go to. So these are the pages that I have in this website. So there's a home page, there's an about page, and these are the webinar. So these are the individual pages that I showed you earlier at the beginning of this video, and there's a style guide that to access the stuff. And it just, like I said, it keeps growing, which is great, but it just keeps growing. And then I just need a better way of managing this stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create another page. So I'm going to click create new page, and I'm going to name this webinars. And the slug is going to be webinar. So anybody going to the website, Hocking College, growwithgoogle.webflow.io/webinars will go to the page that we're creating. And what we're creating is basically a CMS page. Let's see. So I can put some SEO stuff in there. I'm not going to worry about SEO stuff right now. I want to get creative with that, and I can't be creative in front of people watching. Hit create. All right. So this video is not going to go over this nice little feature within Webflow, but basically you can have symbols, and you can go ahead and pre-build some stuff within the symbols, and I just drag it over and it just populates it. It's nice, and it just makes things like a lot easier. So I got a navigation area, which is like my header, then I got a footer, which just goes right there because there's nothing in between. We're going to put some stuff in between right now. So with Webflow, there's all these little blocks. And again, this is not a video to talk about Webflow. Webflow has great resources. Webflow University, I have my students do for class assignments sometimes because it's good. But we have a section. What I'm just going to do is just drag that. So you can drag it like right here, or sometimes I just drag it right in here. And I heard in a podcast that within every section there should be a container. And I started doing that, and it just makes developing on Webflow easier and smoother. So that's what I started doing. Okay, so we have one section. Let's go ahead and give that a name. So over on the far right, we got a selector. Let's just go ahead and give that, let's see, let's give it a name so we know what it is, title, and you'll see why I named the title here shortly. So let's go ahead and create another section and just put it right underneath. So you can see these are indented a little bit. So the containers under this title, let's go ahead and get that title container. Okay, name this section CMS content. I don't know, I'm not really creative on the spot. And so we got CMS content, and then again, every should be a container within every section. And let's just go ahead and name that CMS container. Okay. We haven't really put any styling into it, but let's go ahead and add our CMS. So add element again, and then we are going to go down to our CMS collection list. And we are going to put this inside the container. So you can see, you can hover over it and kind of like goes to, like you can see it's like going in it. So we have our CMS, which is indicated by purple. So we got our collection list settings and the source. So the one we are going to use is the one we just created, which is the Google webinars. Okay. And we're just going to leave everything default and setting. We can play with the layout if we want. I'm just going to keep it everything as default. And now, okay, so we got blue, and you can see, look closely, you can see Google Webinars, use YouTube to grow your business, Google Webinars, sell online with e-commerce tools, Google Webinars, free workshops for job seekers. I can play with this a little bit and the order and the sorting. Once I get dates or some other information in there, that will help me sort it. But right now, it's not outside the scope of what I want to accomplish right now because I need to put some more data in there. So what we're going to do now, we are going to add the content inside the CMS. So I'm going to do is grab a heading, and I'm just going to drag it in there. Okay. So you can see heading, and if you're familiar with HTML, you'll know H1 indicates heading 1, which is the largest size heading. And that is this, what I want the larger size heading to be actually be the title, just for SEO purposes. So I'm going to make that H2, which is just a little bit smaller on the heading. And what we're going to do is grab the text, and we're going to just grab the name. Okay, the name is pretty self-explanatory. And so then we're going to add, so you can see all of these the 3 webinars that we already added into the CMS earlier are now in, you got the names in there. So let's now go to add a paragraph in there and just dragging it. And you can see on the left right here, it's also being placed in here. So what a lot of CMS tools and website builders and whatnot, like WordPress and Webflow and all the other ones that are out there, they put something called lorem ipsum, and all it is just some Latin filler text. I've had some students, get confused by that, what it's supposed to mean. It's like, I don't know what it means. It's filler text. Don't worry about what it means. You're going to put some other stuff in it. So let's go ahead and do summary. Now, remember, I don't have anything in the summary. So let's go ahead and actually go back to the CMS. So let's just go ahead and put some stuff in the summary. Let's just go ahead and put some stuff in here so you can see it actually working. All I'm doing is copying the name and putting it in the details and in the summary. Okay. And what's really nice about this, you can see it automatically. Hold on. Okay, it's already in there, which is awesome. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have in here? Boom, boom, boom. So let's add an image in there. So let's go ahead and hit the plus symbol. Let's grab an image. I don't really have an image, but it'll put like a little placeholder in there. So let's grab an image, decide where we want the image. So I don't have an image in here. Shoot. Okay, so get image from Google Webinars. I just going to go ahead and grab that, even though there's nothing really there. And I'm not going to put something in there because I'll take more time. But what it would do, it would automatically populate once I get that in there. So, and then what we're going to do, the links. So the links, they need to know where to go to, register or watch the webinar. So let's go ahead and add a button. Okay. Sometimes it can be a little finicky grabbing a hold of where you want it to grab. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to say the button text is going to say register now. And we click on that. The URL, get URL. So click to register. Okay. And what I'm going to do, so let's go ahead. We got button right there. I want to go ahead and give it a name. It's register button. All right. And let's go ahead and add another button. Oh, stupid. There we go. All right. And let's go ahead and name this one, watch the recording. And so I got this button selected right here on the far right. I'm going to name this watch the recording button done. Hit enter. Okay. And the reason I do that is whenever I am changing any kind of styling, which I'm going to here in just a minute, it'll only change it to what I want to change instead of all the buttons, and it will change to every single button as opposed to having to do it individually, which is another beauty of CMS. So what I'm going to do is select watch the recording button. So I got that selected on the far left. And then right now it's got a padding of 15. You can't really see it. I don't know how well you can see it, but if I hover over padding on the far right, you can see that it's a little greenish on the edges, and that indicates the padding. But I want to add some margin because it's a little bit, I want some space. So you can do pixels, you can do percentage, just go ahead and do pixels. And you can see it's creating a little bit of space. Okay, that's good. The other thing I want to do is for just like, it's good web design and good user experience, is to have a button color that indicates like, hey, there's going to be an action or something you need to do. So what I like to do is use the color green, because green means go, green means, do an action, green means, green means go. So I'm going to do that for the register now button. For the roster recording, I'm going to leave it at blue. It's fine as blue. But I want for the green button, for the register now, I want an action. I want them to register for this event, because that makes sure that I'm able to get you all the information after the recording and just get everything to you. So what I'm going to do now is you can see register button is selected right there. I'm going to go now is to the far right, and then the backgrounds and the color. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on green. Okay. And I actually, just because I'm kind of annoying like this, I want to color match. I want to color match with the Google. So what I can do is click on this eyedropper, and I just grab that green that's up here with the Google logo. Okay. And it automatically matches to that color green. And I just hit escape to get out of that. So let's see. Oh, the title. We need a title up here. Let's go ahead and grab an element, heading. Okay, so heading 1, which what I do want just for SEO purposes, heading 1 is, the main heading. It's an SEO thing. And it also, it's bigger in size. We can customize the size if we want like the heading 2 to be bigger. Heading 2 is fine right now. But if we want it to be bigger, we could. But for SEO purposes, we do want it to have a label of heading 1, or type of heading 1, sorry. So let's go ahead and let's see. Grow with Google Webinars. Okay. So let's go ahead and publish this. Publish the selected domains. Now you'll notice that the domain that I have has like the .webflow.io. That's because I've not bought the domain name. With Webflow, you can host free websites with a paid account. I have a paid account. I have the suffix at webflow.io. So this was up here earlier. Actually, I don't have a page going to that yet, so let's just go ahead and grab it here. Hit that little pop-out button. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. So we can hit register now. I'm going to right-click, open link in new tab because I don't remember the settings that I set it for. So, I didn't put one in there because I grabbed the wrong URL earlier. Let's do something that I do have. Open link in new tab. Okay, evidently I did not do any of those. Oh, what did I do wrong? Did I not put them in there? Oh, I did not. Okay. Oopsie. Now let's publish. See if I get this right this time. So what I did not put, I think I did the register now. Let's go ahead and register now. Yeah, I did that one, but I did not include the link, like this right here, link to webinar. I did not update that in there. So let's hit refresh. Oh, that one doesn't, I don't have that one yet. So let's do this one. How many tabs will I open? Oh, this is good. Let's lock out some of these other tabs. Okay, so this is actually going to that. So let's see what I have the setting as. So link to a webinar, the YouTube one's not until July 21st, so there's no, let's go ahead and hit open in a new tab. The reason I do that is because I just don't want to lose the page that I'm on. Whether or not you do that on your website, it's just personal preference and, thinking about what the user experience is going to be. So instead of having to right click on it, I just hit watch the recording and it did not. Let me go back and refresh it. It should be refreshed now. Oh, why are you not doing that? Hold on. Then I'm going to hit update. Give it a minute. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's just do it this way. Watch the recording. There we go. New tab. Okay. And, yep, new tab. So all you need to do, as you can see, if you want to watch the recording on anything, is just put your name, email, stuff, and then you'll be able to watch the recording. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Now, the thing that I need to make changes on is right here. So this is the navigation, and right now the navigation, if you remember, it opens all of this. I don't want it to keep adding to that. It gets long, it gets cumbersome, it gets annoying, it's bad user experience, which is, there's nothing good about it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hit this little pencil, which will allow us to edit this navigations part. And, okay. So I don't want it to be a toggle down. Might be the easiest way to do this. So these are navigation items, and this one is different. It's toggle down because it has the drop down. And what I'm going to do is kind of a lazy way of doing it, but it's also a speedy way of doing it. So on my far left side, you can see where I open up the navigation. I got some other stuff in here, and you see it's got the little link in the navigation item. Okay, I'm going to hit Control Paste. And I'm going to name this workshops. And I got to update some of the stuff anyways. I got to update the content within the CMS. Let's go ahead. For consistency, let's go ahead and name it webinars. Oops, for consistency purposes on the naming. Okay, so I got that, and now I just need to change the link. So what the link is going to go to is the page, and this is actually going to go to a page of webinars, which is this page. I don't know where you see it somewhere. I don't see it right now, but this page is named titled webinars. And let's go ahead and open in this tab. We'll keep it in the same tab on that. All right. And let's go ahead, and the reason it's, but I think the reason it's a little bit darker is because that's the page we're on. Let's see if I'm right. We copied and pasted it, so all of the styling, yeah. So if I go on another page, it looks darker. It's because that's the page I'm on. Another reason copy and paste is nice is because it copies the styling and like everything. All right. And then, okay. So let's go ahead and hit publish. Publish. Boom, boom, boom. So in theory, if I refresh this after a minute or so, it should update. So if I go to home, so I'm on the home page right now. And if I go to about, you see this is what I was talking about, it's a slug. You know, this part changes. And then if I go to webinars, okay, it takes me to that. So what this is going to allow me to do on the future webinars, instead of having to worry about different kind of styling and remember what I did before and how I did something, all I got to do is just copy and paste the content, write the content in, copy and paste the links, do whatever else I need to do just to fill out that CMS form, and it will automatically do this for me. So much easier. Okay. So if you have any questions on CMS or databases or websites or Webflow or WordPress or SEO or marketing or anything else like that, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help. Thank you. Let's see. End live. Trying to end live. There we go. And